Our families are left behind, our loved ones are left behind. If the Afghan interpreter, the Afghan partners who have served alongside the British forces, if they're not evacuated from Kabul airport, their other option is a third country, and a third country like Pakistan sees us as the enemy, because they were the supporters, founders, and godfathers of the Taliban. So somebody like me has no chance to live freely without any fear in that country till he is evacuated. My brother-in-law, Habibullah Rahimi, who was a diplomat, was arrested in Pakistan. A few ISI agents came, picked him up, searched their room, took his computer and phone, and then took him to an unknown location for 13 hours. And for 13 hours, my sister, alone in a third country with her 3 toddler kids, was running around in the streets asking, who should I go to in this kind of situation. So she involved me, and I spoke to a number of people here in the UK, and I put this in motion so that he's not handed to the Taliban or somehow disappeared or killed. To be honest, I would prefer being killed in Kabul by the Taliban rather than going to Pakistan, because at least in Kabul I would know that my enemy has killed me, and end of the story. But in Pakistan, they could disappear me and never be found, and my family could suffer for the rest of their life, not knowing where I am.
There's a huge amount of uncertainty and fear, and getting access to information about safe exit routes is really hard for most Afghans. I mean, partly because the information is not being very well handled. The communication from the governments involved, from the UN and the Taliban has been really poor. So it's hard to get accurate information and know who to trust and where to go safely. People don't have much money left. The banks have been shut. They've run out of phone credit. So actually, logistically, it's also really hard. And then physically, we know that there's a land border that has been on and off open for Pakistan. Not everyone's getting through. Some get through, some don't. Getting through to Iran, which is the other big land border, the formal routes out are Taliban controlled, so that's really hard and dangerous for people. We just don't know how strict the Taliban are going to be about letting people out, but they've given pretty clear signals that they don't want this exodus of Afghans. They think Afghans need to stay. So we're going to end up with people making really perilous, dangerous journeys over mountainous land crossings. So people are going to struggle to get out. So a lot of people are just feeling incredibly trapped right now. So it's really important that the UK government and other governments keep the pressure. I mean, they don't have much political influence left with the Taliban. To the extent that they do, they need to keep this at the top of the agenda. Afghans need the right to leave their own country if they want to and seek another life. It's a right of every citizen to be able to leave your own country. Otherwise Afghanistan ends up like North Korea, and nobody wants to see that. And hopefully the Taliban don't want to be that country and don't want to be that much of an authoritarian regime. But who knows based on what we know about them from the past.